Alright, we've got a game, and we have an opening hand that is a little suspicious, but I think we can make it work. We're not going to be able to cast the Warping Wail. We got to go with it. I'm going to try to play more and talk less today because this deck really is pretty demanding of our time. So it is kind of a brain teaser as far as all the complicated combat math goes. And that causes me to play a little slowly, and I'm sure that you'll experience the same thing with this one. Alright, we'll pass. Alright, blue-red, I'm seeing a lot of that right now. Standard is very much like the Wild West these days as people are figuring out the format. But blue-red probably means like maybe Grixis control that leads up to like some awful Ulamog type of thing. Or I should say Nicol Bolas type of thing. I'm going to play my land first so I don't get censored to death here. There we go. Sacred Cat's online. Game is on. That draw was not so great. I don't want a third Anointed Procession, but I guess the only benefit to that is, well, I could potentially... Oh, there's a Shefet Dunes. That's pretty good. I could potentially, like, lodge those through just by having sheer numbers of them because they're likely going to be getting countered like crazy. So let's pass the turn here. It might be right to just poop out a Warping Wail token at the end of turn. Is it though? Let's see. No, we're gonna... Ooh, I did that all wrong. I should have played the Blooming Marsh last turn so I had the 4 mana. That was my fault. Let's go ahead and attack. Okay, Hidden Stockpile is a good draw. Alright, get in there. Oh, look at that. We are on top. This is probably getting countered. Supreme Will, okay. No, I'm not going to pay 3 for Supreme Will. I do not have the option to. The Supreme Will opens up doors for a deck that is very, very draw-go right now. And these blue-red decks are like, they're pretty torturous to play against. It's like total permission decks where, you know, the good old days of my opponent is untapped, clearly has blue mana. I probably can't resolve any of my spells, but we're going to try anyway. Torrential Gearhulk kind of adds a new element to these kinds of decks, which is sort of interesting, and that is the inevitability of once they get to 6, it's kind of like it closes out the game while still advancing the plan of like just making me ask permission for everything. So that's kind of nice for them. Not so much for me. I don't know why I paid 1 life for that. I guess I could have used the planes. Reveal a card. Exile it. Okay, so that means I'm going to be able to resolve one of my Anointed Processions, which I'm totally cool with, because that's awfully hard for him to deal with once it's on the board without like a commit to memory. Oh, Hidden Stockpile is another one. Okay, shoot. How am I going to do this now? Well, we definitely want this Procession out, and he knows I have it, so let's go with that first. And then we'll attack in there. Down to 4 cards in his hand. This would be a good time for him to play a Planeswalker right now, and then we can start to go Anointed Procession, Hidden Stockpile shenanigans. No, he's going to just pass go here. Okay. Well, here's the good news. Oh, and Westvale Abbey is really good with Anointed Procession as well. Alright, we're going to get in there with the cat. And we've got plenty of mana to do other things, like play a Warping Wail, if it comes down to it. Now, plan A, of course, is this. But we'll see how that goes. Hey, it resolved. Okay, let's sacrifice our cat. And that's going on the bottom. And then we are going to let's reanimate our cat. And I'm going to hold on to that Warping Wail because now I'm getting to the point where I have to be a little concerned about mass removal. Alright, 4 tokens, baby. Stroke of genius. Alright. If he taps out next turn, I could see a big Driven to Despair turn coming on. Though he does know I have that. The trick with this deck is you have to conserve time. You have to always be looking at your clock, even from the get-go. But at the same time, it makes a lot of sense for me to want to save my opportunity to sacrifice a creature and scry. So that's a possibility. Let's see here. We are going to... Well, we don't have double white for Shefet Runes. We can, however, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can Westvale Abbey at the end of our turn. So I think that's what we're going to go with. I'm going to attack. We will sacrifice a servo because that's going to come back as 2 servos, and we're going to put that guy on the bottom. And we will have enough creatures for Westvale Abbey, which is pretty cool. So I don't think we're ready to activate Westvale Abbey yet. Except for maybe to put out some clerics. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He does have 6. Let's go ahead and do this. 3, 4, 5. And get 2 clerics. Alright, now I don't see why not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we're going to put the Blisterpod out there first, though, because that's going to give us a Scion token, or 2 Scion tokens for that matter. And then we can actually keep our cats online. Alright, he's going to counter that. That's fine. Alright, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sack, sack, sack. That is exactly 11 right there. And I'll lifelink too. A braid, okay. Alright, he's going to stay alive this time. Now we're going to yield. And we get 2 more tokens at the end of the turn from the Hidden Stockpile combination. Alright, that was a really quick one. Things went well for us. This is undoubtedly a Nico Bolas deck, so we want to win fast. Or we want to board in as many of our discard dudes as we can and really just tear apart his hand before he's able to cast his Bolas or Torrential Gearhulk. We're probably going to need more of this. I don't know that we're really going to get to resolve a Driven to Despair to great effect, so I want to cut down on those a little bit. I'm going to cut one of them for now. Let's put these guys in. And unfortunately, we need to make room for them. And I think that cutting Catacomb Sifter to some extent might be the way to go in that case. Since we're on the draw, we might want to get rid of some of our 1-drops. Let's cut 1 Thraben, 2 Catacombs. We do want Angel of Sanctions, though. Let's see here. This is tough, and I might be totally off base here with this one, so bear with me. Westvale Abbey obviously was pretty good in that situation, so I think I like that. But knowing that I'm on the draw this time, let's hold off on that. Let's see here. Dreamstealer, let's cut. Let's cut another Driven. I don't like to count on this whole Driven to Despair situation. And then potentially... Yeah, we're going to just bring our curve up a little bit on purpose. I think this looks okay. I think that looks okay. Maybe another Angel of Sanctions is necessary because we've got to deal with those Planeswalkers. The only problem is he kills my Angel and they get the Planeswalkers back and then we're in trouble. We're going to try this. I have seen a ton of control in this new standard so far. I think a lot of people want to be giving that Nico Boss a shot. It is potent. It's very potent. And in fact, it feels to me already like one of those cards that I'm going to end up hating at the end of this standard cycle. And so I'm not really looking forward to that. But I don't think it's ban worthy. I'm not going there yet. All right, here we go. This looks like a decent opener. Warping Wails, Catacomb Sifter. We got stuff to do, so let's keep it. It's a little slow. But I think I set myself up for that with my sideboarding. Alright, oh, Evolving Wilds, okay. Definitely going to get a forest with that. Man, these Oases are so good. They are so awesome. And the coolest part is they sack a desert. They don't have to sacrifice themselves. So if one effect is better than the other, you can keep going with that effect and get rid of the previous one. So that's pretty cool. All right, now this leaves us in a weird situation. Our Concealed Courtyards are probably going to come into play tapped, but that is okay. Let's put the Shefet Dunes into play, and ooh, that leaves us. Oh yeah, we have a black. Okay, so Concealed Courtyard next turn. Yeah, this is a little gnarly. So he's got counter spells online. I think maybe we got to get a dude going. Alright, Cryptolith Rite isn't bad. Yeah, Cryptolith Rite is not bad at all. Okay, so I think we maybe want to bait out a counter spell. There's almost definitely something in his hand right now. That's going to deal some, that's going to cause some problems for us. Let's go ahead with, let's try the Cryptolith Rite. And if he tries to kill my Scion as a result, no, okay, no worries. All right, let's get in there. Yeah, I could potentially tap and sacrifice the Scion for 2 mana and cast the Catacomb Sifter, but that's a little risky because if he counters it, I'm left with no creatures on the board, and then we've got problems. Supreme Will, yeah, okay, so he did have the Supreme Will. Those Scion tokens are really good with Cryptolith Rites. That's so awesome. Alright. Oh, he doesn't, it doesn't show what he grabbed. Okay, and the rest go on the bottom. Alright, he's not missing any land drops, so that's a little concerning to me. Thing in Ice. Well, here's the good news about that. I do have Warping Wail. I don't want to sack my dude for that, though. Hidden Stockpile is good. Alright, let's do this. White. Yeah, this is an awesome turn here. There's not much he can do with that mana situation. Okay. And let's go with... Oh, this is tough. Alright, so I think we want to not trigger that Hidden Stockpile this turn. Because we want that Scion, so we're going to just pass here. Yeah, Warping Wail is so good in that situation. That card does so much for us. All right, another Hidden Stockpile. That's pretty cool. Let's try to resolve that first because I'm actually more interested in getting this Catacomb Sifter online. So we can... Yeah, we can try to bait out the counter spell early because he's most likely going to have to counter this. Or he's not going to at all. Okay, so let's go black, white. Oh, we don't need white. What am I doing? Green. Okay, yeah, there's the counter spell. Unless I pay 3. I don't have 3. Okay. No. And then now I think it's right to sacrifice a dude, knowing that I'm going to get 2 back. I don't want another one of those. That's the good news about all this scrying in this deck, is it allows you to get rid of the second copies of Cryptolith Rite, which are typically pretty awful. I could use one of those Dreamstealers right now. That would be pretty cool. Fortunately, I don't think it's going to resolve. Let's see, we've got 6 mana. Probably a Torrential Gearhulk coming on, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see if we can bait a Torrential Gearhulk into play. Let's, how are we going to do this, though? Let's play Blisterpod. Sacrifice Blisterpod to scry, make dude. Nope, don't want it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I think that we just pass at this point because I'm not going to attack into that Wandering Fumarole. Developing a little bit of critical mass over here. Alright, surprise, there's a Gearhulk. Gearhulk and Supreme Will are pretty good friends these days. That's pretty awesome that you can just flash him in and then like impulse like that. Or a counterspell for that matter. It makes him much closer to like a Snapcaster to have all those options in just one card in the discard. No, block that guy all day. That's the good news. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can block and scry. He has Nico Bolas mana. Radiant Flames. Oh, shitter. Okay, let's see here. What can we do about that? We're gonna scry a little bit. That's not terrible. Do I want that? Yeah, I guess I do actually. Okay. Alright, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. Is there any chance that I'm going to resolve this angel? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Probably not much of a chance, but we're going to try it. Because it's kind of like now or never at this point. I want to play him and I want to sacrifice him in response to the trigger to get rid of that Gearhulk entirely. Oh, I don't have the mana for that. That's not going to work. 4, 5. Oh, it resolved. Okay. Yes, I do. Is that even a question? Alright, so Harness Lightning is like probably the only thing that can deal with him. Okay, so Glimmer of Genius. I always feel like a sigh of relief when they cast that card, but I know they're just drawing two things that are terrible. Let's see if you put two on top or what. Card on top, card on bottom. Dang, nice. Ew. No, what are you doing with that? Oh, shoot. Yeah, I would really like to have some mana online here. That's no good. Yeah, that's really no good. Alright, I think we lose this one. Now here's the point where I have to decide if I want to concede and just move on with my life, or if I want to try to like draw this game out, because I could potentially just run him out of his clock. Even though I have a 3-minute deficiency, I feel pretty confident that I can do that. Alright, let's play the Blisterpod. We'll give it a shot. This isn't terrible here. So those tokens are getting exiled for sure. I guess we'll make him flip his thing. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, what's that? 3, 4, 5, 6? Torrential Gearhawk. For a Magma Spray? Oh, Supreme Well, okay. Now he's going to get both of his Gearhawks back in his hand, and I'm going to be taking 7, so this is over. Alright. Now, there are a lot of times there where Westvale Abbey would have been really good, but Thing in the Ice puts a stop to that pretty quickly, and that makes me a little nervous. So I don't want to go in with another Westvale Abbey knowing that that's his sideboard plan. I don't hate the Angel of Sanctions in the deck, though he just showed me how that could go terribly awry too. Dusk to Dawn would be pretty good, but on the play, I think I want to be a little bit more aggressive, so I'm going to go with something else. This is not good in this matchup. I may want some more of my 1-drops back. Let's put a Thraben Inspector in place of a Catacomb Sifter. Cool thing about Thraben Inspector is that plus Anointed Procession gives you 2 clue tokens. Alright, we'll try that. Thraben Inspector also gives you something to do with 2 mana if you happen to like hold a Warping Wail versus a Radiant Flames, and then you don't have to use the Warping Wail versus the Radiant Flames, then you can like sacrifice the clue, and that's pretty cool. Alright. Oh man. Serious lack of white mana here. We do have a Blisterpod to play and a bunch of white cards. We can't keep that. Too dangerous. This looks... this looks worse. Man. Well, we can do something with our 1 mana. I think we've got to keep this. There we go. Okay, we'll take that forest on top. Hopefully we draw some gas, though. Because we don't have a whole lot going on right now. Alright, we're going to attack. And play a Blisterpod. Not the most exciting turn, too. Dreamstealer. Alright, how about that? Okay, let's get in there for 2. Okay, now here's where I have to take a chance because he doesn't have a whole lot of 3 mana, or 2 mana counter spells, I should say. I think I have to go for this because the only thing, like, Censor would hit my dude, as would Essence get. Okay, it resolved. Good. Now, worst case scenario here, we just get the flames right on turn 3. But that does leave me with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana to get to that Eternalize. Yeah, there is Radiant Flames. Okay. Blooming Marsh. Let's go with that. Should have sacrificed first. Yeah, it was a pretty big blowout there. They always have it. I should be prepared. Okay, now I do have the mana to Eternalize my dude. I don't know if that's right at this point. I should have attacked first. Maybe I could bait out a blocker or something. Now, if I don't Eternalize, I mean, the Eternalize is most definitely getting countered. If I don't try it, though, I feel like I'm going to be getting Glimpse of Genius. I think I've got to just go for it, because really there's no... There's no way to get through those counter spells otherwise. I just got to try it. I got to be doing something all the time. That does involve sacrificing my guy, though. Okay, we're going to pass. I changed my mind. I don't want to sacrifice my dude. Glimmer of Genius, Glimpse of Genius, whatever the hell that card's called. I just know I don't like it. Okay, this is weird, but we need a dude. We need to, like, get this clock going here. Ugh. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He hasn't played a single counter spell. I'm just going to keep dropping lands until I'm out of Supreme Will range. Radiant Flames. 1, 2, 3 mana. No. I think that's counterable. Now, a disallow would be pretty tragic. It's probably what it is. Let's attack first. But I do have the mana to pay the 3 for Supreme Will by sacrificing my tokens. Unfortunately, it's kind of my last out due to drawing all these damn lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the Dreamstealer. Yes, it is, of course, a disallow. What else could it be? Alright. Not a lot going for us right now. Sad day. Now he's got an instant in his graveyard, so that Torrential Gearhook is live. Which is brutal. Okay, Blisterpod. Let's attack. I think we gotta try this. Hopefully he'll see it as a bait and won't buy it. Just rather not deal with the Gearhulk. Okay, and we're gonna just hold on to that waste for as long as we can, so that he thinks that I've got something I'm trying to resolve. Okay, he's gonna play that anyway. Interesting. If only this could be cast as an instant. Ooh, there's the Nico Bolas. Of course. Angel of Sanctions? You gotta be kidding me. Oh my god. The only good news about that... Well, there's very little good news about that. The only good news about that is if it dies, it goes into my graveyard. But holy shit, man. I'm drawing all the lands, and then he gets the good cards off of my deck. And it just happens to be like my one out to that Bolas. So, yeah, and I draw Evolving Wilds. So this one is all but done, folks. Wow. Do we even bother attacking right now? I think we need our blockers. Let's just... Let's yield until end turn. Now that I can finally cast something, there's nothing to play, sadly. This has kind of been the story with this deck. This is exactly what happens with it. It's like you get these really aggressive starts sometimes that can just manage to take over these control decks. But for the most part, these are really tough matchups, and I don't really see this deck winning it very often. I don't have any basics left in my deck either, so we're just going to fake that. Oh, Catacomb Sifter. Of course. Yeah, there's nothing going for us. And he's got Nico online. Okay, we're going to concede. There you go. There's game one. It was a good game too, but that was a little disappointing. Now, I don't know what would make that better for us. Obviously, like, Angel of Sanctions is, like, the thing that we need to deal with those Planeswalkers, aside from just giving them our Creature's Menace and attacking in. That's usually not enough to do it, though. Giving my Creature's Menace and trying to beat down a Planeswalker that has 11 loyalty is, like, not going to happen. I think that it's just... I just have to kind of go back to the Lost Legacy plan, and knowing that Nico Bolas will just tear up the game. I've got to Lost Legacy that Bolas. So I can see why that was included in the original list now. All right, well, thanks for watching. We're going to go to another game in just a moment.